It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update, as Kurt Angle has provided an update on his health, Becky Lynch is set to be in attendance at SummerSlam, and his AEW's latest signing just been revealed. All that and more coming up in today's video, but first... AEW's Paul White recently appeared in an interview with The Ring Report and was asked about recently released WWE stars Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt and Ric Flair joining AEW. The former Big Show revealed that he thinks all three men could slot into AEW perfectly, and working with them would be a great learning experience for AEW's younger talent. He said, "For those other talents like Bray Wyatt, Braun, Ric Flair and all those guys, there's always an opportunity for people of that caliber to be part of AEW and contribute. That's the thing with wrestling, you never say never." It would be great to see those guys come in, and it'd be great to see some of the young AEW talent get the chance to interact with guys who have seen that massive stardom and how that molds your performance and in-ring psychology. They can learn from that and prepare these young AEW talents for what's coming in the future, giving them the opportunity to grow and be part of what's going to be a globally impactful company. As we discussed in a video earlier today, Ric Flair seems primed to be part of Andrade El Idolo's entourage, or at least there's reported interest from Andrade for that to happen. For Wyatt, I think he's another must-have free agent for any company with the star power and ability to help boost AEW to the next level, but I'd hold off on that until Bryan Danielson and CM Punk have fully settled in. Braun, whilst I think he would be a solid addition just for his name value, it's important to pick and choose as to not fill the roster too fast, and I would certainly prioritize a Bray Wyatt over a Braun Strowman. But let me know what you think. Should AEW bring in Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt and Ric Flair? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, Stone Cold Steve Austin's next guest on the Broken Skull Sessions has been revealed. The Rattlesnake will sit down with current WWE Champion Bobby Lashley, and it will air 1 week before the champ defends his title against Bill Goldberg at SummerSlam. The show will be streaming on Peacock and the WWE Network internationally on Sunday, August 15th. Austin's guests in the past have included The Undertaker, Sasha Banks, Randy Orton, and AEW's Chris Jericho, and most recently Kevin Nash. The show is usually a good watch, so it should be worth checking out. On the most recent episode of the Kurt Angle Show, the Olympic gold medalist discussed his retirement from wrestling, as well as his last ever match against Baron Corbin at WrestleMania 35, which lasted just 6 minutes. Before the match, fans were upset that Corbin would be Angle's last opponent, with most people calling for John Cena or Jason Jordan to see him out. Of course, in the end, Jordan picked up an unfortunate injury that ended his in-ring career. Angle discussed the matter on his podcast and revealed that Shane McMahon was also an option, with the two having competed before in a match still talked about to this day at King of the Ring 2001. He also stated that Cena would have made sense and said, "Shane would have been a great retirement match, but I don't know if I want to go through a match like that. Anything goes in a street fight with Shane McMahon when I'm 50 years old. I don't know how my body would hold up with that thing. I thought Cena made sense. I started his career and I thought Cena could end mine, so it made better sense. I would have done Shane McMahon, I just don't know if I would have been up for it." The topic then turned to Angle's neck, as in 1996 he won an Olympic gold medal in men's wrestling with a broken neck, which is extremely impressive and hard to even believe. Since then, he has suffered from many major neck injuries and revealed that he needs a neck fusion to help with the situation, and said, "I have a lot of motor skill problems in my hands, my fingers, because of my neck. Numbness down my arms, I have a lot of pain in my neck. I've been putting off fusion surgery for 15 years. I might not be able to put it off for much longer. I'm eventually going to have fusion. I had the quick fix surgeries just so I could get back in the ring again, and the last one I did I think was 2015. I'm eventually going to have a fusion. I've just been putting it off." A neck fusion is where two or more vertebrae are fused into one single structure, which stops movement between the two bones to prevent the back pain. Kurt recently revealed that he turned down 2 offers for an in-ring return, one for a run in AEW and one for a one-off match in Impact Wrestling. It was the aforementioned problems with his body that made him turn the offers down. And quickly, just before we continue, make sure you scroll down and drop a like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss any upcoming wrestling content as we head towards 20,000 subscribers. But now that you've done that, let's get on with the rest of the video. Today, WWE have announced that the Viper Randy Orton will be making his return to television on tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. The news was first broke on the WWE Twitter page before Orton quote tweeted the announcement and said, "Been away for a bit, but tonight I'm back on WWE Raw and I won't be keeping you waiting. I'm kicking off the show. #Viper is back." Over the past several weeks, Matt Riddle has dedicated his performances to his quote best friend, although he fell short last week in a losing effort against Omos. Orton hasn't been seen in WWE since the June 21st edition of Raw, where he lost to John Morrison and was ruled out of the second chance Money in the Bank qualifier, with authority figures Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville citing circumstances out of their control. Orton is rumored to team with Riddle to take on Raw Tag Team Champions AJ Styles and Omos at SummerSlam later this month. Next up, we have an update regarding the WWE return of Becky Lynch. According to PW Insider, Becky may not return full-time until the fall, with October being cited a few weeks back. However, it can be confirmed that she will be in attendance at SummerSlam on the 21st of August at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Lynch has been seen backstage at TV tapings and pay-per-views recently, including the most recent one at Money in the Bank in Texas last month. It's currently unknown if she'll be making an on-screen appearance at SummerSlam, but the plan is for her to be in Vegas for the show. There are 2 women's title matches on the show that she could potentially be interested in, with Nikki Ash defending her Raw Women's title against Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley in a triple threat, as well as Bianca Belair defending her SmackDown Women's title against Sasha Banks in a WrestleMania 37 rematch. Becky Lynch hasn't been seen since she relinquished her Raw Women's Championship, handing it over to then Money in the Bank holder Asuka. This was in May of last year due to pregnancy, having gave birth 7 months later in December. And finally, on June 2nd earlier this year, Buddy Murphy was released from WWE. Today he posted some very interesting videos on his Twitter page teasing his next move, and they seem to point towards a debut in AEW. The video opens with a man arriving at an asylum to collect one of the inmates, with the inmate later revealed to be Buddy Murphy. It's said in the video that he's been locked up for 8 years and is now in lockdown for 90 days, a reference to his tenure in WWE, which lasted 8 years, as well as his 90-day non-compete clause. It's worth pointing out that the doctor/officer in the video is Josiah Williams, who played the same role in the short film Malachi Black released on the day of his AEW debut. It appears that Murphy's video is linked to Black's, and it seems to be set in the same asylum. Murphy was mentioned in Black's earlier video, with a reference being made to Murphy's attack on the eye of Aleister Black during their time in WWE, which also explains Malachi Black's damaged eye that can be seen in AEW. These clues seem to suggest that Murphy is also AEW bound. Murphy also has BKS88 written on his chest, which stands for Best Kept Secret, with 88 being the year that he was born. It should be said that whilst this video seems to tease something happening imminently, his 90-day non-compete clause ends on August 31st. There's a chance that Murphy will show up on this week's AEW television, either on Rampage or Dynamite. However, that's only if he's been able to get his non-compete clause shortened. Otherwise, the earliest he can appear is September 1st, with that night being an AEW Dynamite episode 4 days before AEW All Out 2021. It has been reported that several released WWE talents have requested that their non-compete clause be shortened, with some being successful in their request. This was seen when Chelsea Green showed up in Ring of Honor earlier than expected. This means there is a chance Murphy could appear anytime now, depending on his situation. And before you go, why not check out my video where I discuss 5 ways that AEW could book the debut of CM Punk.